Now I'm going to request and I'm going to start mission number 2 for the military career agent. Alright. The Guristas have kidnapped one of the miners and are demanding a hostage swap. They want the one responsible for their comrade's death, and apparently they have no idea you are a trained capsuleer. Go teach them a permanent lesson. I suggest you equip a shield booster or armor repairer. Interesting. So it sounds like it might be a tough fight. Okay, we need to, here our objectives are on the right, acquire these goods. We need to drop it off, whatever we're getting, at Jovelin 3 Science and Trade Institute School. That's actually where we are right now, Jovelin 3 Science and Trade Institute School. So whatever we get, we need to bring it back here. What we need to get is 1 unit of civilians. That is the hostages. Our objective, eliminate the pirates and rescue the civilian miner they are holding as a captive. The civilian will be transferred to your cargo hold once you have destroyed the pirates. And the location is somewhere here in Jovelin. Our reward is going to be a Merlin. So that looks like a frigate. Let's right click, show info. We can see the requirements to fly it is Caldari Frigate 1 and Spaceship Command. If you picked a different race, you'll probably get a different ship, but the info should be mostly the same, except for these bonuses. So this is a Caldari frigate, and this one has bonus to hybrid turret damage and shield resistances. So this is a combat ship, a tanky combat ship that has damage and defense buffs. Okay, so we'll get that once we finish the mission. So let's accept and close. And I don't have a shield extender module. We can try and find one real quick. Why don't we try, we'll go to the market. The market's over here on the left, regional market, Alt-R. And then let's clear our search and let's search for shield, extend, and then let's look inside this ship equipment section. Now we don't need a capital shield extender, we need a small shield extender because we're a frigate. And we would just use small shield extenders. Now, I do see, oh, it looks like there is some that are for sale in our station. We could go 2 jumps away and buy one for 21,000, or we could buy one at the station here for 37,000. It costs quite a bit more, but we don't have to go anywhere. I'm going to go ahead and fork over the money. I'm going to buy 1 unit. And I'm going to close this window and go to my inventory. And there it is, small shield extender. Now let's equip it to our ship by going to the fitting window. Clicking on the shield extender and dropping it on our ship. Okay, and it looks like we did have a free slot that could handle it and enough CPU and power to equip it. And if we do show info, we can see what it does here. Attributes, shield hit point bonus, 400 HP. So now we have 400 extra shield hit points. And if we click on this button here to view our attributes, we can see all the exact numbers for everything. Now, if they're collapsed, you may need to expand the sections to see the details. But here we can see the shield hit points has 660 HP. If we turn off by clicking this module and turn it off, our shield hit points goes down to 220. So by turning on the shield extender, we're adding a ton of hit points to our shield. And here you see your effective HP, EHP. This is an approximation of how many hit points you have based off of all these armor, hull, your armor, and your shield, and your resistances. So you can buff up your resistances as well. So we go from 820 effective hit points to 1480 effective hit points by adding this shield extender. So our ship is way tougher now, and it's going to be way harder to kill. So now let's undock by clicking undock over here or on the right side. Okay, now that I'm out, we can use this button over here on the left, warp to location, which will bring us to where we need to go. Now let's take a look at our weapons that we have here. So we've got 2 right now. We've got this civilian Gatling railgun, optimal range about 5200, And we have this other one here, 75mm Gatling rail with an optimal range of 4,000, with the fall off range at around 7,000. So if we orbit at around 4,000, that should be a pretty good range for both our guns. It's a little inside the optimal range here, but this turret has a ton of tracking, so it should still hit pretty well even underneath its optimal range. So let's click on one of these targets and click approach and turn on our afterburner so we get there quicker, because they're pretty far right now. They're about 48 kilometers. We need to be about 4 kilometers away from them in order to shoot and have our guns do damage. If you look down here at your HUD, your capacitor is the one in the middle. Most weapons use a little bit of capacitor to fire, and the afterburner is also going to use some capacitor, and it's slowly going to recharge itself. The civilian afterburner here doesn't use a ton of capacitor, so we're pretty stable. We won't run out. And just above that, we can see our shield, armor, and hull structure. Hit points there, we're all at 100%. Okay, we're getting closer. As I get closer, I'm going to break into an orbit pattern, and I'm going to lock on. And when I'm locked, I'm going to turn on both my guns by clicking on both of them. And now we're doing a ton of damage with our new gun. Lock on to the next person. Turn on both the guns. We're still within a good range, 3,000. Got him. Now this other one is 16 kilometers away. Let's approach and lock. There they are. They're coming towards us too. And as they get really close, or a bit closer, maybe about now, I'm going to click orbit and break off into try and do an orbit pattern and activate both my guns. There we go. We're right in a good optimal range there. We'll try and maintain it. Okay. We just... Oh, there's more. There's 2 more that spawn. So we need to approach. Where are they? Let's zoom out some more. There they are. There's this one and that one. This one's a little closer. Let's go for him first. Let's lock. Let's lock the other one if we can too. Okay, just to get it out of the way. You can have a certain number of targets locked at the same time, and you can switch, but you can even have one gun firing on one guy and another gun firing on the other if you wanted to. Okay, I'm going to break off to orbit, turn on the guns. Boom. Great hits. That guy went down really fast. Okay, let's orbit this guy. We're pretty close. Let's turn on our guns. Let's see if they hit. They're hitting. And they're all done. It looks like none of their wrecks have any loot. So let's turn off our afterburner just to save some capacitor, even though we have plenty. And let's click dock. And then our ship will warp to the station, dock, and then we can have a conversation with our agent, get our reward. And in this case, the civilians automatically went into our cargo. So if we check our cargo hold, we've got the civilians. In a lot of cases, you'll have to pick up the item from some cargo floating in space. But in this situation, they went directly into our cargo, which is a bit rarer. But for the tutorial, that's how it worked. And they never really did any damage to us. We probably would have been just fine without the shield extender. Okay, it's going to take just a second for the ship to get towed into the station and for our session to change. Now that we're here, we can click Start Conversation on the left or pick them on the right. Right-click Start Conversation, and here we go. That's right, our reward is the frigate, so we're going to get a nice reward with some cash bonus. Complete mission. Excellent. Now let's go over to our inventory on the left and look in our ship hangar. And the new one is highlighted with a little red dot. That's our Merlin. Let's assemble the ship. Right click, assemble, then right click, make active. And when you make it active, it's actually going to change you into that ship. So now we're actually looking at the Merlin. I'm flying the Merlin now. Now let's open the ship fitting window. Okay, so one of the first things you might notice is that there's more slots on the mid, more slots on the high and the low. So this one has more slots. It's also going to have a lot more hit points. This one has 550 base hit points. The other one had about 200. So this ship is way sturdier, and it's got more slots to fit more equipment. So let's go back to our item hanger here. Now, why don't we take the modules from the other ship and put them on here? So let's go in our ship hanger, in our inventory. In the ship hanger, right-click on the other ship you were using that has your modules, and click Strip Fitting. That's going to take all the modules off and dump it into the item hanger. Now let's check in the cargo hold for the ship by double-clicking on it. Or, I'm sorry, I guess double-clicking will put you into the ship. So let's double-click back into that one, and you can click on it over here in the menu. So I'm looking for my Ibis. If I click there, so while I stripped the fitting, it left the items in the cargo. So the ammo and the metal scraps are still in the cargo of that ship, even though I'm not piling it anymore. So I'm going to take it from that cargo and drop it into the item hanger. So everything I have is then in the item hanger. I'll right-click on blank space in there and hit Stack All, just to organize it a little bit. Now, what can I put on here? I've got a few modules to choose from. I definitely want to put that gun, that first gun that they gave me as a bonus, with the ammo. And then I'm going to take the extra ammo and I'm going to put it into my ship's cargo hold so that we can reload the other extra ammo later. From here, we're also going to, why don't we put on these 2 civilian Gatling guns? We can actually fit 3 guns on this ship. Okay, we've got 3 guns there. We can also probably fit our afterburner along with the shield extender. And we can use this overdrive injector to give us some extra speed. And we still have some slots to spare. We can put more shield extenders or expanded cargo holds, overdrive injectors, and you can also put mods to boost your damage on your guns. But you've got some options now. You've got a ship that you can grow a little bit more in and add some more things, and this is going to be much sturdier and tougher than that ship that I was just in. So enjoy this. If you want to go find some combat, you can just undock and start going to the asteroid belts or go to the cosmic anomalies. If you want to learn more about the cosmic anomalies, check out the exploration career path video set. All right, in the next video, I will start a conversation with the agent, and we'll do mission 3 of 10 in the next video.